We're live. It is Sunday, the Rich Lieberman Media Pulse for December the 8th, 2024. Boy, oh boy, how time flies. Even if you're not having fun, time flies, especially when you get older. All right, well, we talking about this a lot, not this specific subject matter, but we've been talking about KNBR, which used to be one of the legacy stations that was years ago, and now it's just hanging on. It's actually, I've pronounced it DOA many a times. It's just only around because it's got remnants and it is, I guess, living out its last carcass meat. So, with that said, and I've been working on this quite a bit. I've made making phone calls to various people about the Giants, about their broadcast setup, about the past, the present, and this instance about the future. So we all know about Cumulus, which owns KNBR and a few other stations, which used to have something, which used to be like KGO, KSFO, 1077 FM, The Bone, and KFOG before they destroyed that and simulcast, did away with KFOG and made it KNBR FM. And we all know Cumulus's lack of success. I'm being diplomatic with its radio stations, not just in the Bay Area, but beyond. Some stations, you can't screw it up. It'd be very, very difficult to. I'm talking about stations out of the market, but not here in the Bay Area. So let's cut to the chase, get to the lead, as they say. So the Giants have been on KNBR since 1979. Good old Lindsey Nelson. I remember that like it was happening yesterday. But their association, their long-term marriage with KNBR is all but gone because of the fact that, first and foremost, Cumulus is in its infancy days, bankruptcy, multiple bankruptcies, the lack of success, the lack of catharticness, if you will, with regards to terrestrial radio. The only stations that seem to be making it are stations that have a sports identity: baseball, NFL football, basketball, that sort of thing. Unfortunately, Cumulus has become irksome even in those areas. And locally, KNBR. This is the final year, beginning in April 2025, of their contract with the Giants. And look, it's all but assured that the Giants will not be on KNBR come 2026. They don't have a lot of leverage, but in a way, they do. It's the future. With regards to Cumulus and KNBR and their relationship with the Giants, it is fractured at best. And quite frankly, they being Cumulus, doesn't have the money. They don't have the capital. Hell, I talked to you about this a few months ago. At one point, they didn't even have the money to turn the lights on. And that's why they are in a frugal mode, why they're cutting everybody, why they're getting rid of people who make, in their minds, what is constituted as lots of money, anybody over $100,000 a year. They got rid of Tom Tolbert. They got rid of John Lund. And they're probably safe for the year, but I'm guessing they're going to get rid of either Greg Papa or Brian Murphy, the only two last holdouts at KNBR. But let's get specific with the Giants. It's just the fact of the matter is KNBR doesn't have the manpower anymore to make a full-time presence, post-game show, Giants related programming, baseball, and they got lucky with the Giants. Would have been the Dodgers and the Yankees, although that was a short series. Baseball is simply still not perceived as advertiser friendly for the all important younger demo and so forth. KNBR the last few years, the ratings have gone down in the tank, not just because of the fact that the Giants haven't performed well. Baseball is perceived as old man, old white guy, old 70-year-old plus men. It just simply is not conducive, as same the case with terrestrial radio, AM, even FM. It's just down to the dumper. Combine that with the fact that you have a magnificently lousy, irksome, toxic, incompetent broadcast entity like Cumulus, then you got problems. And which is one of the reasons why KNBR was so heavy duty on the 49ers and why they talk about the 49ers so much with some of the few remaining talk show hosts. It's because baseball, again, just not in the moment. Let's go to 2025, and everything is precarious. Not only is the baseball broadcast setup up with the radio at KNBR, but the players themselves, like a John Miller, like Kruko, Mike, Kuiper, Dwayne, and the various other morsels. Now, those guys that I mentioned are fixtures in the Giants broadcast family. They also are getting older, much older, which presents another sort of a dilemma, a double dilemma for not only KNBR, but the Giants themselves. The Giants would love to fish and cut bait with all of the mentions. They believe Kruko and Kuiper, although they're very much still popular, but they're older. They don't travel on the road. Kruko has to broadcast from San Francisco. Kuiper takes every now and then a few trips to Cleveland or San Diego, something like that. But he himself has cut back due to a series of health maladies. John Miller, it's been well documented. He's simply at 74. He doesn't travel much anymore. He does occasional trips. He loves to go to New York, loves to go to Boston, loves to go to Toronto, Mexico City when the Giants go traveling and all that. He's not into going to Houston or going to Milwaukee, places like that. Maybe a Chicago here and there. He's older. They're all getting old. So it's sort of perhaps a given that this was inevitable. And they have Dave Fleming, but Dave Fleming has national aspirations. He covers NC2A, basketball, college football. Of course, he likes to cover golf and all that. And Fleming is signed with the Giants, but he's got to make a decision. Or maybe he could do both. Maybe what he's doing now. I don't know. But that's neither here nor there. The most important thing, I see the Giants, much like other teams are now, with the exception of a few others like the Mets, the New York Yankees, Chicago Cubs, the Dodgers, obviously. Those stations, those teams have stations in their market which are still relatively successful. And they have a sports identity. The Dodgers are just numero uno now. Obviously, they won the World Series. All their sponsorships are up and running, and they've got a heavy-duty presence down in the Southern California region. They own the region. So from a conventional radio standpoint, they're going to be fine. The Giants, they're not really happy. They weren't happy when KNBR was in a good mode a few years back. They just simply want more programming. They want more comprehensive programming, not just the game, pregame, postgame, Giants-related broadcasts. So a couple of things. Giants may just say sayonara to Cumulus and get their own broadcast setup apparatus. That could be streaming. That could be, a sfgiants.com, and you click on something and it takes you to part of their website. Now, I still believe that they would like to have an association with a mainstream terrestrial outlet. So put this in your mindset. Could the Giants conceivably go to 95.7 The Game? Absolutely. Now, the Game is owned by Odyssey. They, too, have fiscal issues. They, too, declared bankruptcy in the process of being overtaken by the Soros Group, the group that wants to buy a whole bunch of radio stations and perhaps convert them into their own nest egg or put them on their own platform, what have you. But that still is away from taking place. But could the Giants conceivably end up there? Perhaps. I think, and I'm not the alone person saying this, Giants are pretty much done at KNBR. They really are. The cumulus apparatus, the fiscal situation is just too precarious. So, is it a given that the Giants will just kind of lock heads and say bye bye to KNBR? No, but they're in the final year of the contract. People that count in the broadcasting department with regards to the Giants are fed up. They're fed up. And they see this new management team, Buster Posey, and they just signed the big star out of Milwaukee to a 7-year contract, almost $200 million. And they've got some young stars on the horizon, all that stuff. They think they're going to be a hot commodity again. So we'll wait and see on that. Now, whether or not that translates into a multi-year deal with a terrestrial radio station, they got few options if they're going to go that route. There's not many radio stations left. They'd have to probably consider buying or doing an LNA, a leasing situation with a frequency out there and perhaps turn it into their own setup. So they'd have a terrestrial setup and they'd have a streaming setup within their own website and hire their own people and whatever. But almost assuredly, it will not be at KNBR because KNBR is in the toilet along with the other Cumulus stations, not only here, but a few other major markets in the United States. Hey, I'm Rich Lieberman here every day. Please make a donation so I can continue to give you the information and the scoops and give you color and hopefully entertain you as I inform you. So please go up on my page here, click on the PayPal. I will personally thank you for contributing and making this site possible. Obviously, too, while you're at it, click on my YouTube and become a subscribed member. Thanks a lot.